So we are making Disney ears. This is only the second time I've made any ears, so bear with me. And it looks a mess, but I'm going to start with, so I have templates for my ears. I've measured them to ears, what size I want. So I'm just going to, if I can get a pen, and the template. And we want 4 of these. So I'm going to draw around 4 times. And then we're going to cut those out. Okay, so cutting that one, I'm going to do the 3 others. So once you've got all 4 cut out, you want to measure them up all next to each other. I mean, 2 at a time probably is better. So measure them up next to each other to make sure that they are exactly the same. So if there is any bits hanging over, just cut them off. Those ones are okay. So once you've got your 4, you want to get material that you're using. I am using beautiful material, Evil Queen, Ursula and Maleficent. With this, I'm going to put it pattern side down. Get one of your ear cutouts. We always need a gap around the edge because we're not actually cutting it to the ear. So I'll explain more. Don't use a permanent marker or a felted pen if this material's thin because it will go through. So I'm going to draw around the template. And then I'm just going to cut out a square. So you probably can't see the mark very well, but where I've drawn around, we're not going to cut around the template. We're going to cut just a little bit further up so that there's a gap. I'll explain why in a minute. So it doesn't matter if it's not straight necessarily, as long as you've got a gap. And mine is definitely not straight. So, as you can see, that is much bigger than that. Well, not much bigger, but it is bigger. There is a reason. So, starting with this one, I'm going to put that face down again, pattern side down. Then we put the stencil where you've marked it. Make sure it's in the centre. Then I'm going to get my glue gun, which is over here. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of the cardboard, just here. Just on that first bit. And then I'm going to take the material from here, flip that over onto the glue, like so. I'm going to do that all the way around the ear. I know it's not a very good angle on this camera. I do apologise. I don't really have anything to stand my phone on. But hopefully you can sort of see what I'm doing. Okay, we're going all the way around. The reason I'm doing a little bit at a time is because hot glue from a glue gun, which is probably the best thing to use here. Hot glue dries fast. So if I went round the whole edge, it would dry before I tried to stick the material down. So I find it easier just to do little strips at a time. Try not to burn your fingers. You can get finger covers for hot glue guns, which I probably will purchase at some point. Just get all these stringy things as well. So, I think I've run out of a glue stick there. So once all the sides are down, we're going to leave the bottom bit. Leave the bottom bit unglued because we're going to put some stuffing in there. I'm going to get some fluff. This is from an inside of a teddy bear. You can buy it. I probably haven't left the gap I haven't left a big enough gap. Really, the material should be a bit loose so that you've got room to stuff, which I haven't really. But we're just going to stuff it in between the material and the cardboard on that side. And make sure you get the stuffing right up the top. So that it goes nice and puffy. I like my ears to be quite thick so they look good quality. Some people don't, and that's fine, so you don't have to put stuffing in. You can have them just like flat, but I like mine quite puffy. Nice fluffy ears. So once you've stuffed it as much as you want to, I'm then going to put some hot glue on this part, right on the edge. I'm running out of glue stick. And then we're going to fold that over and glue that down. So that's one side of the ear done. That's going to be the back of my ear because it's not as puffy as I would like it. So once you've done that one, you do exactly the same again. These are the two that I have stuck down, and I'm going to put glue all around the edges and in the middle to make sure it sticks, and stick those two together. So I'll show you. Make sure it's on the material around the edges, just to ensure that they really stick together. And then we're going all over. And then we make sure they are as well lined up as possible, and that's why we had to make sure that they were the same size so that they would match up. Just going to hold that there for a couple of seconds. I'm going to make sure all the edges are stuck together. Okay, so once that's stuck together, you'll see there's a gap there that looks a bit messy. So that's what this is for. So it's a bit like a shoelace, pretty much the same width. And that is going to be my trimming that's going to go around the edge. So it'll cover that gap. But first I am going to stick these to my headband. I bought some headbands. I bought quite thick ones. Quite thick so that there's plenty of room to stick that to. So I've got this stand to put my headband on to stick the glue, to stick the ears on. So I'm going to put my headband over the stand, make sure it's even. Then I need to see where I want. You can measure. Today I am just looking for myself and seeing what I think. I'm not putting a bow on these, I don't think. So I'm going to get my glue gun and I'm going to glue the flat part that's going to go on the ears. on the headband, sorry. So I've got a nice generous amount of glue. And stick that down. I'm going to really hold that down very firmly for a while. Got to make sure they are really stuck down. Okay, I think they're good. And then I'm going to do the same with the other one. Oh, they're a little bit odd. So, as I stuck down, I think the gap's probably a bit big. But that's okay. I'm going to take this off the stand for this part because I need to lie them down. So I'm going to just put a bit of glue right on the edge. And I'm going to stick this. Okay, and then it's going to go around this side. Then I want the ribbon, I don't know what it's called, to go up the ears. So I want to just put a little bit of glue around the edge of the ear. And we're going to take this and just glue it off like that, covering that inside bit that where we stuck the ears together. And we're going to do this all the way around. But then that should look like that. So we've got that trimming all the way around and it's covering that gap there. I'm going to do the same to the other ear. Okay, so all of that's stuck on now. I mean, I do like them just like that, to be honest. I think they look cute. But there is little, like where the trimming is, it looks a bit messy. So I'm going to try and clean it up. Maybe put some diamante gems or something there. If not, they're fine like that. I think I'm gonna. I've got these little diamantes, I can't speak. And I think I'm gonna try and put them around the edges, at least at the bottom, because I don't really like this mess here. There's a lot of glue showing and like frays from the material. So I'm going to try and stick these down. But I'm not going to use my hot glue gun because that dries like, well, not clear. It dries white. So I have material glue that I'm going to use for that. It's a much thinner end as well, so I can just put that straight onto the gem. I'm actually going to put the glue on the material now because it's really not working. Okay, so far I'm loving it. So I'm going to keep going all the way around the bottom of the ear. I don't think I'm going to go up the ear, just around the bottom. We'll see. Okay, so one ear's done with the gems around and I love it. It's cleaned up the mess and they look so pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. I found a better way of sticking them. So what I'm doing, I'm getting the glue, putting a little line so I can fit about 2 gems on there. Get my stick, picking up like I would with a diamond dot and just sticking them down. Sticking them down like that so they are even. And it's working. I've got this headband stand, thinking it'd be really good for doing things like this, but it's actually better holding it, in my opinion. It keeps falling off that thing anyway, so this is much easier and a lot quicker. I have turned my glue gun off as well, so if you're not using it, turn it off. It doesn't take long to warm up at all. otherwise you're wasting glue, because when you leave it on, it obviously softens up the glue and makes it hot, and then it starts dripping out of the end. So it's so much better to just turn it off, and then when you need it, turn it on. It takes 5 minutes, if that, to warm up. And really, it doesn't take too long to do the diamond part. I thought it would take longer, because with my jack ears that I did, it took a long time. But I was actually using Diamond Art gems, so they're tiny things. So yeah, that took me a long time, and I did them all around the edges and all over the headband, everywhere. So that took a long time. And voila, complete. I don't know whether this had a bow in the middle or not. I don't really have any bows, so I would have to buy some, but I love these so much.